Hey, Mike Mettler, the soundbard here, and I'm with Mike Piers of Alarm fame. And Mike, the spirit of 76 lives in 2016.
Yeah, it certainly does, and the spirit of 86.
Yeah, that's right. And we must also say that New Jersey, which is where we are right now in Garwood, is a great state for you to play in. The Garden State seems to love you. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's a lot of roots we've laid down in the community here in New Jersey. When the band came to America for the first time, we played all the colleges, Rutgers, being a particular highlight that I'll never forget. Some amazing shows there. And we didn't just play a gig, we kind of interacted with everybody. When the show was over, we'd play soccer matches against all the fans in the sports halls. We became friends with the teams that put on the shows, the entertainment committees. I'm still friends with all those people today, and I think that interaction with people spins into a deeper relationship and spills out of the immediacy of it as well, and that people say, hey, those guys are real. That people know us as real people. I've got a lot of friends in Jersey. I bring my family here.
Oh, nice.
I don't stay in New York, I stay in Jersey.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so, I must say when New Jersey fans get into acts from all over the world, they are very loyal. They continually come back. So. And we see a lot of familiar faces downstairs. People have come and seen your shows for years and years. And that's got to feel good to know that there's space there.
Absolutely, because that's one of the values I try to put into my music. I'm a loyal person in life, and I try to write about other responsibilities of loyalty in song as well, and try to inspire that in my audience, and for them to be loyal in their own lives, because you get a lot of rewards for that. We live in fickle times.
This is true.
Pick things up, put them down, discard them. But if we can walk through life with some things that are always going to be there for you, even if it's your music, the songs from your past help you through the times when maybe you lose a job, or your relationship breaks down, or you come back to see a band that you've been a part of their history for 30 years, and you put the old records on the way to the gig, and it gives you a big lift and helps you in life.
Now, speaking of 30 years, we're celebrating 30 years of this particular project, and I imagine that'll be a big part of the show we're going to see.
Yeah, it will be the show. I mean, I'm performing the whole set that we played at UCLA on the 12th of April 1986, and throw some stories in around the mix and of the show. But it's been an interesting project to play that set list, because I think the 30 years, there's a lot of parallels, and when you think, when we did that original concert, it was the first ever live satellite broadcast around the world. Live Aid was the year before, but that wasn't around the world. It was live in each country, and the American Live Aid, you couldn't see that in Britain until the highlights came the next day.
True.
But with this concert, you could see it everywhere simultaneously, and that was the first time it had ever been done by MTV. And I can remember the day there was masses of trucks and cables and engineers and technicians, and NASA was involved, because it was a satellite coming over. It was booked for 3 o'clock to be directly over California that day, and it was going around the world, and every member of the audience that's sitting there watching me play it tonight has got the ability to do exactly that. Just pulling out their phone, going on a streaming service like Periscope or something.
So you're a pioneer. Back
well, I don't know pioneer, but I'm just pointing out where it all began.
Right.
But it's it's what people are. We live in this communication age where everybody's trying to do what we started out to do as a band. Use the music as a vehicle to meet people, and everyone's got. When we started the Alarm website in 92, 93. It was very unique, but when you think about it now, every single member of the audience, their Facebook page is their website. They're promoting themselves and making friends through having an outlet for the creativity in their life, even if it's just taking photographs or writing about their friends, family, where they go that relates to other people's lives. So
it's a level of connectivity.
Everybody's in a band.
We're
not all play guitars anymore, but we're all kind of in bands.
We're all the same band. Well, related to that, one thing I ask you is, I mean, obviously, a lot of your music is available in streaming services, and how do you feel about people accessing your music that way?
Well, I've always thought that the medium is the message. If people get to hear one of my songs through any medium, I'm happy because I trust and believe in my talent enough to make a connection to that music that turns into something more than just a passing listen. That I hope that somebody hears my music somewhat in any form will be intrigued enough to want to dig deeper, and then that leads them to CDs and vinyl and cassettes and concerts and t-shirts and all the other things that go into supporting an artist to think forward musically. And so it was like that in the 80s when people used to come and say, what about all these cassettes in the markets, and every gig would be on tape. But even that whole thing has changed. Nowadays people don't record gigs anymore, they just do a little bit on the camera and put it up on YouTube. But trying to find tapes of the whole night, that's hard. It's like people haven't got that attention span.
I also think that because you're also able to do that yourself, that your fan base understands that at some point Mike may put out some of these epic shows for us to get officially, and we're more comfortable with you presenting it in full. And I look at it as somebody who goes into the streaming universe and maybe cruising something like 68 Guns, they realize there's a lot deeper catalog to go into, so they might find out about Soul Me Down the River and other things like that that we all know, but there's generations of fans that don't know Declaration and things of that nature. And I think that's where people lead to your catalog of work.
That's a good thing, I mean, I'm very home. Sometimes with the streaming element, they're a little bit removed from where you are as an artist, so you don't necessarily have a lot of control over it. I look at like the alarm on Spotify, for instance, and the photograph's a bit out of date, the biog isn't that up to date, but trying to unravel how to make that work for our whole community and for those people who are only just finding out about the band, that's a challenge, and still something I work on, because I'm fairly obsessive about how the band myself presented. It goes back to Complete Control, The Clash, and punk rock, and owning your music. And,
you're a brand as an artist, and you have an identity as a creator, and you need to, in essence, control the message, and so that we see something that has the name of Peters on it, we know there's a certain standard that's going to come our way. You're giving us your own seal of approval as an artist, so we kind of expect a level of quality from you. Certainly when packages like this come out, or vinyl, which is another thing to hold up with the brilliant title, by the way, which is a great documentary in here.
Well, always trying to put quality into everything, all the releases. Get very involved in the artwork, and that's I've always been like that as an artist from day one, and try to make sure that the stamp runs right the way through from when you see the singer on stage and you pick up a booklet inside a CD, it has a connection.
It's Mike approved. So our final question then, so that we can wrap up, is obviously one of New Jersey's favorite sons is Bruce Springsteen. If you were to perform a Springsteen song, any pick, what would you do?
Well, right now, thinking about 1986, I always think of the Born in the USA album, because that was huge at that particular time. And I love Born in the USA. I sing bits of it sometimes. But I talk about the time. Born in the USA.
That's a winner.
But I like Stolen Cars, one of my favourite Springsteen
You're a river
songs
fan.
from the river.
Yeah, he just did those great complete shows of the river out at MetLife Stadium.
That's right, yeah.
Prudential Center earlier this year.
Yeah, Mike, I got to play with him at the Light of Day concert
right.
in New Jersey, in Asbury Park. So it was a real honour to be on the stage.
Yeah. Well, you're an honorary New Jersey son, Mike.
Well, you know,
we appreciate that. And
I think if anyone from New Jersey has been to North Wales like they have for the gathering, they'll say, where I live in Rhyl, it's a little bit like Asbury Park. It's like we're twinned almost.
Yeah, it's a parallel. Well, Mike Peters, thank you very much for the time.
Thank you very much, Steve. Cheers.
Thanks. Thank you.